Welcome in, Hawks fan. Your boy Bryce Lewis back at it again for another Believe in Hawks episode. Hawks beat down Brooklyn tonight, 133 to 109. They got an early lead, got it over 20 points, and never looked back. Took care of business tonight in a very much needed win. Now the magic number for them to clinch the 8th seed and to be able to go to Orlando for a potential 7-8 matchup to face the Boston Celtics in the postseason is now won. They play the Sixers Friday, have the opportunity to wrap this up. So we appreciate you guys tuning in for another Believe in Hawks episode. We're going to break down the game tonight. Zaccharie Risacher shines once again. Rookie of the year him, people. We need to Rookie of the Year Zaccharie Risacher, or as I like to call him, Risha Goat. So welcome in. Obviously, if you enjoyed this episode of Believe in Hawks, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, definitely for show. Appreciate all the love and support you guys give me as we are about to wrap up our regular season coming up. I will be going out of town tomorrow, so unlikely I'll probably have a review up on Friday night. And Monday, I will be coming back, so strong possibility if I don't have any videos out this weekend, I will recap everything, and then we'll start previewing the play-in game, which I believe, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think the Hawks are playing Wednesday. I could be wrong, though. So, yeah, we're going to go into all that for show and Believe in Hawks. Obviously, follow me on X, Brycey_2K, BRICEY_2K. I know some people have asked about Blue Sky. I have an account. I just don't use it. I really need to start using it. When I start actually using it, I'll start putting it out there and everything. So, like I said, appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. So, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Hawks tonight take care of business. You know, this is a game that the Hawks needed. You came off that tough loss against Orlando. Orlando went on the next night yesterday or on Wednesday and clinched the 7th spot. They will have home court. Hawks can be in the same situation as Orlando. The only thing in the play-in that really matters between 7 and 8 is who got home court. You still have one game you have to win to get in advance in the postseason. So Hawks are trying to put themselves in position to put themselves in a do or die situation. And if they lose, they will host the winner of the 9-10 matchup, which right now looks to be Miami and Chicago, who are playing some of their best basketball right now. So if you're the Hawks, you want to try to take care of business against Orlando if you can, and, do what you got to do. But you have to get the 8th seed secured first before you can even have a shot twice at getting into the postseason. And like I said, tonight was the start of that. Really, this game was just a matter of, listen, Brooklyn had a lot of guys out. A lot of their starters weren't playing. Russell, Cam, other guys were not playing tonight. So the Hawks came into this game big favorites, should have took care of business, and they did. So, and that's what you want to see. You want to see this team take care of business. Sometimes in these games, you get a little nervous if you're a Hawks fan. Are the Hawks going to let the team hang around, or someone gets hot, which Brooklyn did have someone get hot tonight, but it wasn't enough to necessarily get them over the top and make it a more competitive game on Brooklyn's side of things. And like I said, the Hawks were able to take care of business. We had highlight plays. Trae Young between the legs, alley-hoop to Risacher, highlight play. Trae dropping a defender for behind-the-back layup floater. Just it's one of those games where you're blowing a team out and you can have a lot of fun with it. And the Hawks had fun tonight. And, that's something that you definitely want to see from those guys. Just, feeling themselves, feeling good, feeling, ready to go, and just, getting ready, like I said, in the back-to-back, taking care of business both days against teams that you should beat. Sixers, we know about their injury issues. We know that they have a lot of guys out. Let's look at some numbers tonight from the Brooklyn Nets game. Hawks shooting 57%, clearly one of their better offensive performances of the season. Also, on top of that, Quinn Snyder really reinforced after the Orlando game. They have to play with more pace. They played faster. They played quicker tonight. Brooklyn struggled defensively. Quinn knows that the Hawks are going to be successful offensively. They have to pick up the pace. Orlando did a great job of slowing down that pace and making the Hawks play at their speed, which was more where Orlando's advantage is. Hawks played much faster against Brooklyn. Obviously, Brooklyn doesn't have a great team out there right now, so it's a little bit easier to get into what you want to do, but also could be looked at as a confidence booster and a confidence builder for this team moving forward. Brooklyn only shot 40% from the field as well, so clearly the Hawks dominated in that category. They made 12 more shots on 6 less attempts compared to what Brooklyn had. So 3-point shot, Brooklyn actually made more threes. They made 22 threes. In today's day and age, if you hear a team make 22 threes, you're probably like, man, that was either a really close game or they blew that team out. This is one of the very few occasions in the league where making 22 threes and you get blown out. Brooklyn outshot the Hawks tonight by 3, but it didn't make that much of a difference. And the Hawks still made 15 threes at 41%, essentially 42% from downtown. Both teams struggled at the line tonight. Hawks had 33 field goal attempts. They were able to get to the line, though. Made 22 of them. Brooklyn made 15 out of 22, both hovering around 66, 67%. Hawks with 36 assists tonight. Obviously, ball movement, a big part of what they're trying to do. Risacher gets a lot of his points off of that. That's why people call him the 6'9" Klay Thompson for that exact reason, because of his ability to score off ball and create off ball for himself through cutting off screens. And then, like I said, getting his shot down has been very big for him. Hawks dominating on the boards tonight, 51 total rebounds to the Brooklyn's 41. Hawks, like I said, pace, 32 fast break points tonight. That shows you the Hawks were able to play with pace and get up and down the court. This is where the Hawks are at their best, when they're able to get into the fast break and take advantage, especially when you have Trae Young running the show and his ability to find the open guy and make some of the better passes we've seen all year in this league. So that was obviously big. Hawks lose the offensive rebounding battle 10-7, but they, like I said, won the defensive boards 44-31. So Brooklyn having a lot of one possessions, not a lot of, even though they won the offensive rebounding battle, Hawks were, like I said, able to still kind of keep Brooklyn from really getting into any rhythm offensively. And then Hawks also had 33 points off of turnovers. So clearly from that perspective, creating turnovers, getting into the break, scoring off those turnovers, and it works out for you. They were able to force Brooklyn into 17 turnovers tonight. So that's pretty good. If that's almost a bucket of turnover, basically, the Hawks had tonight. So they did a lot of the things that they didn't do against Orlando tonight. And you see that's when the Hawks play at their best. Same thing when they played against Utah. They were able to play with this type of level of fast pace, intensity, shooting was good, and they were able to blow them out. So obviously the Hawks have their formula of what they need to do to be able to be successful in these types of games. And like I said, Brooklyn obviously has a lot of injuries, but Hawks able to take care of business, and that's really what you want to see from them in a game like this. So let's get into Zach. Well, I mean, he's the big story of this game. 38 points, a new career high for the rookie, the number 1 overall draft pick. I said on X, he probably has 3, if not 4, of the top rookie performances this year. I mean, he's had a very strong games this year. Let's go through a few of them. He had 33 points against the Knicks. He had 30 against Cleveland. He had 27 against Memphis. He had 22 against Philly in back-to-back games. He had 36 against Milwaukee. If you remember that game, that was recently against the Bucks, and he had 38 tonight. You could probably say, and if you remember that Cleveland game, that was the game he started off shooting 100% from the first half. I think he had 21 at the half. So, I mean, his 4 30-point games alone were all fantastic performances. And, he just has continued to grow and continue to improve. We've seen the clips of him staying after practice and getting up shots and coming in early. And, Larry Nance was on commentary tonight, and he mentioned that no one's surprised by the success that we're seeing from Risacher. We always knew he was capable of it. They always talk about where he was at the beginning of the year, because obviously that was a different point for Risacher coming into the league, getting adjusted to the physicality, the talent of the league. He mentioned kind of that when he first started out, and then seeing how he has just improved. And I also mentioned this on X as well. I said, if Risacher can play like he played tonight consistently next year, that greatly makes the Hawks ceiling higher. Now you with that starting lineup, you got Trae who get you 30. Jalen Johnson will get you 20, 25. Risacher could also be someone you can count on to get you 20, 25. He essentially becomes the third option in that group. I mean, we've seen him. He just came off a 30-point game against Orlando. We see what he can do. And then we know Dyson Daniels, even though that's not even the strongest suit of his game, his offensive game has improved a lot. He, on certain nights, can get you 20. And now you're starting to formulate yourself a bit of a starting lineup that has multiple threats on the floor that teams have to worry about. And they all can do it in different ways. Trae, we know how he does it with floaters in the 3 ball and getting to the line. Jalen Johnson, we know physical, athletic guy, can dunk on people. He can be a mismatch on most nights for a lot of teams. That's how he can create his opportunities. And Zach now, off ball, 3-point shooting. That's how he creates his opportunities. And so everybody has a different way of attacking you. It's not like everybody's the same where they're going to attack you the same. So really big stuff for him, and tonight he went 15 to 20. So again, on efficient shooting, a lot of these games, he did it on efficient shooting. The Knicks game, he was 11 of 18. The Cleveland game, he was 11 of 14. The Milwaukee game, 12 of 24. And then tonight, 15 of 20. So he's been shooting over 50% in these games. And even the 2 Philadelphia games in the Memphis game. Memphis, he was 11 of 13 with 27. And then Brooklyn, not Brooklyn, but 76, he was 9 of 16 and 9 of 15. So so that's what I think also adds to how impressive that he's playing. Because it's like when Risacher is on it, he shoots the ball at a high clip on efficiency. And that's something I think we've noticed about Risacher through his first year of playing, is that when he plays well, he does it efficiently. You always have these guys in the league that you call them like they can score, but they're inefficient. Like it'll take them 20 shots sometimes to get like 25 points. Risacher can get you 20 points on 15 shots, 14 shots. And that's extremely efficient basketball. And it makes you know, okay, Risacher doesn't have to be a high volume kind of guy to be able to create an impact on the game, especially when people talk about Trae being a bit inefficient. And, Jalen was a guy who can either be very efficient or, he's still working through his offensive stuff, but, he can be either or. Risacher has shown he can kind of basically just be efficient because a lot of his looks, again, are cuts, dunks, putbacks, open threes, and taking advantage of the looks that he gets. So you should have higher efficiency on that. And listen, obviously, people still want Risacher to try to be able to create his own offense and create his own, moves offensively to create a shot for himself. But at the end of the day, with the way they play and the ball movement that the Hawks play with, the motion offense that they use under Quinn, right now, what Risacher is doing is perfect for what they want. Perfect. So I think that's obviously really big for him. And also his 38 points tonight is the most points by any rookie of the rookie class that have played in a game. So again, still continuously has top performances. If you're looking at, here's a stat: 30 career games with 30 plus points among current Hawks. Trae Young has 163. No surprise. Next highest, 18 at Caris LeVert. Caris, he can put the ball in the basket. Third, Zaccharie Risacher. He has 4 30-point games. More than what DeAndre Hunter had in his entire tenure in Atlanta, and then also currently on this roster right now. So again, Risacher, if he could be like this next year, that is going to be, the Hawks are going to become dangerous if that happens. He also is with his historic night tonight for him, 5 triples in all 4 of his 30-point games, tied for the third most such games by a rookie in NBA history. Also, with him getting 23 points in the first half, he secured his 4th 20-point first half of the season, and he is also the only rookie to do that with 4 first half 20-point games. So, like I said, Risacher, man, he's been great. I'm so pleased. I'm so happy with his progress. I mean, just knowing how people were questioning the pick and where we are now in the process. I mean, he just continues to grow before our eyes. I mean, like I said, I remember after the Milwaukee game, people were even saying like, "Hey, I think Risacher can be better than Jalen Johnson." And I think, again, he's showing people almost a dude, like Risacher might become a dude. continues to grow, continues to get stronger, continues to just, get more experience, he can become a dude. And he has such a mature game. And people have said it. I've said it since, the preseason. He has a mature game. It's not because he didn't grow up in the American basketball system where a lot of kids get through with athleticism and just talent and don't really learn fundamentals and things of that nature that takes winning till they get to the league, especially the more talented guys because they're one and dones in college. Risacher, when you play those Euro leagues, they teach you how to develop your skills, how for you to be effective, how you can be most impactful. And now you're taking him from there. And really for him, it's just getting himself up to NBA standards in terms of shooting and other things in his body. And then he already has the game needed to be able to be successful. And I've made mention that, it's not happening right now. But the more we continue to see these foreign players from France and Austria and Russia and Ukraine and, all these other countries start to come into the league, Italy, etc. And especially the more good players come from across other countries, that could potentially have an impact on the NBA game because some people feel like a lot of things are lost arts because we don't really do that in the American basketball system. And guys like Risacher could make people, coaches at home say, listen, you see what Zach's doing? You see what, listen, you may not be the most talented kid on the floor, but if you want to still be able to impact the game, watch Zaccharie Risacher film. He's not the most talented kid on the floor, and he's still going to make an impact. It could be great coaching tape. So if I have any dads on here, moms or whoever's listening, or you play basketball, watch Zaccharie Risacher film. Learn how to cut. Learn how to make effort plays in other aspects than just being able to dunk on someone or be able to cross someone up and hit a three. Because you can find different ways to be effective. And Risacher has masterfully continued to improve his craft as he's continuing in this league. And then we will see that progression moving forward, and which why so many people are excited about this young Hawks core moving forward. So he was great tonight. Also tonight, Mo Gay playing the most minutes he's played in a while, 22 minutes. Mo Gay tonight, man, plus 22 tonight from the floor. Mo Gay playing a strong game, 9 defensive rebounds tonight, man. 12 total. Had 5 points, but played well defensively. And like I said, I've mentioned multiple times, Hawk got to decide if he could be the backup for next year. He does help defensively. He does help with weak side protection. So, and he's also done a good job playing backup center minutes as well. So they have a guy who can kind of play both spots. And that could be a good thing for the Hawks in terms of how you want to address that position in the front court in the future. Kongu, 14 and 15 tonight. Plenty of discussion about Kongu. Some guy was on Twitter talking about what are we going to say when Kongu gets destroyed by Claxton tonight. And I'm like, y'all do know Kongu's outplayed Claxton a lot this season, right? In the 3 matchups, especially the second one. Destroyed him in that one. The reason why Claxton had a good game was because he was able to destroy Dominic Barlow. Like, again, y'all need to chill on Onyeka. Like, somebody made a joke. They said Onyeka can walk on water, and y'all say he can't swim. Listen, man, y'all put respect on Okongu's name. Listen, I'm starting the hashtag, the Okongwu agenda. All right? Don't get me started with the Okongwu agenda on this podcast. We will make this an agenda. Because now I feel like we're getting into this point with Okongwu where we're kind of on John Collins' time, where every game he's bad. See, he can't be the center. He's not good enough. Get him off the team. But then that's like after 10 straight good games. And it's like, but if it comes against a 7-footer, see, he can't play against 7-footers, even though the last 7 out of 10 games, he also had strong games against 7-footers. But we're not going to count that because that doesn't fit my narrative. So, whatever. Dyson Daniels felt like it was a very quiet night for him. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, had 3 steals tonight. I think he passed AI tonight for the most steals. I could be wrong. He passed someone tonight for, I think, the most steals in a season in a while. I do not remember exactly what that was, though. Let me see if I can look that up. Dyson Daniels, obviously, he makes history just through his defense. Okay, so Dyson Daniels has the most steals in a single season with 226 since Gary Payton won Defensive Player in the Year 1995, 1996. The great barrier thief continues to do it again. I love Dyson Daniels, my Australian goat. And honestly, he didn't really have to do anything crazy tonight. There wasn't some primary matchup that he was like, oh, this is the one for you tonight. So kind of just be more around. Trae Young, 24 and 12 tonight. Doing Trae Young things, highlight plays. Like I said, behind the back, making people fall, between the legs. Trae Young, when he can, he'll get into his bag. He'll have some fun out there. He'll have a blast. and you saw that tonight from Trae. And Trae, and throughout his career, he's averaged 20 and 28 against Brooklyn. So this has been a team he's always had a lot of success with. Man had 14 tonight. Niang had 11. Krejci had 9. LeVert had 4. Barlow and Powell came in and clean up garbage time with 2 points apiece. So, I mean, overall tonight, man, they did what they need to do tonight, man. So I can't even be mad about what happened tonight. And they came out and dominated and did what they needed to do. So, big win for them. One more game against the Sixers to get that 8th seed. And then now Sunday's game, you may not even see both teams play their starters because then it's like, what are we playing for? So if Hawks win tomorrow, I would not be shocked if they don't play their starters on Sunday against Orlando because I don't see Orlando playing their starters either. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that is. And the Hawks should win because they're in a position where, you're good. You're going against a team that's not, the Sixers are kind of depleted at this point. So you should be able to take care of business. But before we go, have some Trae Young news. So Trae Young recently was on Chris Haynes' podcast called, Haynes Briefs, And, he essentially asked Trae about the team and what he thinks. And essentially in that conversation, Trae Young basically said, I know where we are right now. We're not there yet. The East only really has 3 teams that could compete for a championship. I think we could get there next year in a couple of years. And he's looking forward to just seeing what happens in the future. That does not sound like a man who's leaving the Atlanta Hawks. Once again, I just want to make that clear to people who still think that. And it goes to the theory I've told people if you've been listening to this podcast. Trae Young was on board with the plan that they came to him with. And he has done this entire season, been supportive and help upbring these young guys and everything. He's locked in. He loves Quinn. He continues to reiterate his love for Quinn. And he knows Jalen's important. And somebody had a comment in the section. They were right. They said, contrary to popular belief, Trae Young has never, ever really came out and said, I'm dissatisfied with Atlanta. It was the media who kept saying he would be there was a lot of assumptions being made. The media keeps assuming Trae wants out. Oh, the Hawks didn't have a winning record, so they're going to want Trae Young to leave. Oh, Trae doesn't want to go. But Trae Young himself doesn't say that. And the fact, again, Trae Young is essentially saying, without literally saying, I'm going to be with the Atlanta Hawks next year, I'm not leaving the Atlanta Hawks. That man believes in Dyson Daniels. He believes in Jalen Johnson. He believes in Risacher. He believes in Okongwu. And he believes in Quinn. If you believe in these guys, why are you leaving? He is literally telling you, I'm good. He's like, I literally said this in an episode. I said, literally, you're going to have a better record than you had last year. You're going to make the postseason. You have a lot of young talent that's going to get better. You know that you probably would have been better if Jalen was healthy. Why exactly is Trae Young leaving? What exactly would make him want to leave? At this point, this is just either if you like Trae or not. If you like Trae, you're happy. If you don't like Trae, you're going to think you're going to want him gone regardless, right? That's just how it is. People are going to have their sides, pick their sides, have their narratives, whatever. Trae Young's locked in. He understands the plan. He knows what they're trying to do, and he believes in what they're building. And people, like I said, want Quinn gone so bad, but don't understand If Quinn goes, Trae goes. And then you kind of have to create a rebuild. But you don't have to, because the players they've acquired and the team that they've built is built around Trae in a way that Quinn wants to play. And that's what I think a lot of people are losing in translation, because y'all are so focused on the results while they're developing and they know, hey, we're not there yet. Y'all want them to be there because y'all want them to be good. But what happens is now you lose lack of understanding. So then you just start saying, well, he sucks as this happens. I've said this. No coach is perfect. Somebody was like, well, we don't want to be perfect. Sound like y'all do. Because when he makes mistakes, y'all crush him for it. So what do y'all want then? So, like I said, Trae Young, he'll be in Atlanta next year. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it'll be that big of an issue. I think we just need to calm down with that. And he'll continue to build with this team. And he'll continue to move forward. And like I said, the Hawks are set up next year to have a boom year and jump into the top 6 in the Eastern Conference if they stay healthy. So, really excited for that. But I think that's about it here for the Believe a Hawks podcast. I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow me on X, Bricey_2K, BRICEY_2K. Audio listeners, same thing. Leave a rating, leave a review. Tell your friends about Believe in the Hawks. I appreciate all the love and support that y'all gave me. Like I said, I'll be out of town a couple of days. We'll see if I get any episodes up while I'm out. If not, I'll be back Monday recapping the end of the season, regular season, getting ready for the play-in, and talking about that matchup. Maybe have someone on from whoever we're playing, preview the game with me, and then we'll cover the game when that happens. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Believe in Hawks. It's your boy Bryce Lewis. We'll see you next time.